Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really foundational, governance in quality systems.
Right, and its impact is huge, especially, in critical areas like healthcare.
Exactly. Think of it as the hidden engine making sure things run well and safely. We've looked at insights from big players like Joint Commission International JCI and NABH, that's the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers.
And also Suprematic Consultancy, IASQA, the International Society for Quality in Healthcare, plus some broader takes on what good governance really means.
Yeah, so our mission for you, listening in, is to really unpack this framework. How does it help maintain and, importantly, improve quality? Especially in, let's face it, the complex world of healthcare.
And we'll definitely shed some light on the role of those accreditation bodies like JCI and NABH you mentioned. They're key players in setting the standards.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Governance in quality systems. What exactly are we talking about here? What's the core idea?
Well, at its heart, it's the structure an organization sets up to guide and manage quality.
Like a rule book and a map combined.
Sort of, yeah. It covers everything from policies and procedures, defining who's responsible for what, the lines of authority to oversee it all.
Okay.
The whole point is to make quality something deliberate, something managed, not just, wishful thinking.
So it's much more than just hoping for good quality. It's building the scaffolding for it.
Precisely. Good governance gives you that roadmap. It means setting clear quality goals, making sure everyone knows their part in achieving them.
Accountability.
Yes, accountability is huge. Fostering transparency and how decisions about quality get made, and obviously making sure the organization follows all the relevant regulations.
And checking in regularly.
Oh, absolutely. Regular monitoring, auditing, that's fundamental to the whole framework.
Yeah, healthcare. The stakes seem incredibly high there.
Yeah.
Why is this governance stuff so vital in that specific sector?
Well, in healthcare, the impact of quality or the lack of it is just so direct, it affects people immediately. So, governance in quality systems, it directly protects patient safety, number one. It ensures services are high quality, and it guarantees compliance with a really complex web of regulations.
It's the bedrock then.
It really is. It
Right
builds
there.
quality and safety into the very fabric of how care is delivered.
The sources we looked at frame this quite clearly, don't they?
They do. They define it as this overarching framework that ensures a few key things. First, regulatory compliance, gotta follow the rules.
That's standard stuff, but crucial.
Yep. Second, sticking to industry best practices, doing what works. Third, a commitment to continuous improvement, always trying to get better.
Never standing still.
Never.
Hmm.
Fourth, managing risk, effectively seeing problems coming and dealing with them. And finally, having a clear way to escalate quality concerns if they pop up.
Okay.
So this framework, it basically shapes how decisions are made, how operations run, how teams work together, and how everyone communicates about quality.
That really covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So, okay, an organization puts in the effort, builds this structure. What are the real tangible wins? Why bother?
Oh, the importance really comes down to some major advantages. First off, accountability, like we touched on.
Right, knowing who's responsible.
Exactly. When roles are clear, there's no finger pointing. You know who owns what when it comes to upholding quality standards. It just cuts down on confusion.
Yeah, I can see that. Things would actually get done.
Totally. Second, it aligns quality goals with the bigger picture, the organization's overall mission. Quality isn't some side project. It's baked into what they're trying to achieve.
Like better patient outcomes or efficiency.
Precisely. Better outcomes, smoother operations, whatever the main goal is.
And you mentioned transparency. How does that help build trust?
Well, good governance means openness in quality decision-making. And that builds confidence, among staff, among patients, everyone involved.
People trust what they can understand.
Exactly. When the how and why of quality are clear, trust just grows naturally.
And compliance, especially in healthcare with all its rules, must be a huge driver.
Oh, absolutely. Governance provides the structure needed to consistently meet standards from bodies like NABH or JCI, plus all the legal and ethical stuff. It helps navigate that whole complex regulatory world.
Okay, and the last point from the sources was about avoiding problems.
Yes. Proactive risk management. That's a massive benefit. Strong governance helps organizations spot, assess, and tackle potential risks before they cause quality issues or safety incidents.
So anticipating trouble.
Right. Having systems in place means you can often head off problems at the pass. And the sources back this up, showing real results like, better performance, fewer risks, better reputation, more trust, and just smarter decision-making overall.
So it's not just avoiding the bad stuff, it's actively driving better performance. Okay, let's dig into the nuts and bolts. What are the essential components, the building blocks, for effective governance?
Well, fundamentally, it really starts at the top. Leadership and oversight. You need strong, visible commitment from senior leaders. They set the quality vision.
That's the tone.
Exactly. And alongside that, you need effective quality committees. They oversee the initiatives, make sure resources, people, money are actually allocated to support quality work.
And then making sure everyone knows what they need to do.
Spot on. Clear roles and responsibilities are vital. Everyone from, the C-suite down to the frontline staff needs to understand their specific part in maintaining and improving quality.
Like an orchestra, everyone knowing their part.
That's a great analogy. And you need the sheet music, too, documented policies and procedures.
The guidelines.
Yep. They spell out the expected standards and the processes to achieve them. And crucially, these can't just sit on a shelf. They need to be living documents, regularly reviewed and updated.
Makes sense. Things change. And you can't improve if you don't measure it right.
You got it. Performance monitoring is absolutely key. Tracking quality indicators, doing regular audits, reviewing outcomes.
And then acting on what you find.
That's the critical part. Good governance ensures that when monitoring flags an issue, there are concrete corrective actions put in place and followed through.
This source is also really stressed using data properly.
Yes, data-driven decision-making. It's essential. Good, accurate data should guide decisions about where to put resources, which areas need more attention,
No more guessing.
Hopefully not. And we've mentioned it, but compliance and risk management are woven throughout. Sticking to regulations and proactively managing risks are ongoing parts of the framework.
Okay. Now, the term process governance came up. How's that different?
Process governance is a bit more zoomed in. It specifically focuses on the policies and practices for managing and improving the organization's core processes, the actual workflows.
To make them consistent and high quality.
Exactly. Ensuring those day-to-day processes deliver reliable, high-quality results every time.
And it's not just about having systems on paper.
Right.
Management needs to be actively involved, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Management responsibility is crucial. It's management's job to establish and maintain an effective quality management system that actually helps meet the organization's goals. They have to own it.
And listening to everyone involved seems important too.
Yes, stakeholder engagement. Good governance considers the needs of, everyone. Patients, families, staff, regulators. Their feedback is gold for improving the system.
And finally, something easily overlooked but vital. Paperwork. Or, record keeping.
Correct. Good documentation, controlling quality documents, maintaining records, it's essential for showing compliance, tracking progress, and having that all-important audit trail.
Okay, great. Let's switch gears slightly and talk about the organizations that set these standards. Joint Commission International, JCI. They sound like a global heavyweight.
They really are. JCI is seen as a global leader in healthcare quality and patient safety. They've got over 20 years under their belt, working in, I think, over 70 countries now.
Wow.
Their mission is pretty clear, enable and affirm the highest standards for everyone, everywhere.
And they're hands-on, not just setting rules from afar.
Very hands-on. They accredit and certify over 1,000 programs worldwide, backed by a network of over 600 experts. They offer accreditation for hospitals, labs, clinics, you name it. Plus certifications for specific things like clinical care programs.
Like stroke centers or something.
Exactly. And even things like healthcare sustainability now and telehealth, which is obviously huge.
So getting that JCI stamp is a big deal.
It really is. They develop these rigorous international standards, including the international patient safety goals that many hospitals use. They also provide a ton of resources, education, webinars, newsletters, even consultancy.
To help organizations prepare.
Right, though they're clear you don't have to use their consulting to get accredited. It's just an option.
I saw a note about a conference, Unify 2025.
Yes, that's their upcoming event. It's focused on bringing people together to tackle the big challenges in healthcare quality and safety right now.
And we have some real feedback from hospitals that went through JCI accreditation. What did they say?
Yeah, some interesting insights. Hong Kong Adventist hospitals, for instance, said it really improved teamwork and coordination. Burjeel Farha Hospital mentioned the competitive edge and community confidence it brought.
Better trust them.
Definitely. Emirates Specialty Hospital highlighted the value it added and how it reinforced patient trust. Corniche Hospital sees it as proof of their commitment to excellence, hitting those top international benchmarks.
Common themes seem to be teamwork, trust, better risk management.
Absolutely. And just embedding that commitment to safety and quality deep into the culture.
Okay, so JCI is global. What about NABH? The focus there seems to be India.
That's right. NABH, the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers, is part of India's Quality Council. It was set up specifically for India's healthcare sector.
Set local benchmarks.
Exactly, to create accreditation programs tailored for Indian hospitals and healthcare providers, meeting consumer needs there, and setting quality benchmarks for the industry within India.
And they operate independently.
Yes. While supported by various stakeholders, they have functional autonomy in setting standards and running their accreditation processes. They offer both accreditation and certification across different healthcare settings in India.
So whether it's global like JCI or national like NABH, these bodies are setting the bar and checking if organizations clear it. How does this tie back to governance?
Well, getting accredited by someone like JCI or NABH is basically external proof that your internal quality governance is working.
It validates the system.
Precisely. It shows you've not only adopted recognized standards, but also built the robust governance structures needed to consistently support quality, safety, and improvement. It's a signal of real leadership commitment, driven by solid governance practices.
Okay, that makes sense. So we understand the what and why of governance, especially in healthcare. Now, let's get practical. What tools, what day-to-day practices help organizations actually do this?
Right, putting it to action. Well, a core tool is a quality management system, or QMS.
QMS.
Think of it as the operational toolkit. It's the set of policies, procedures, documented processes that help track metrics, manage documents, ensure procedures are followed consistently. Frameworks like ISO 9001 or the NABH standards themselves provide blueprints for building a good QMS.
And Six Sigma was mentioned. Is that part of a QMS?
It often is, yeah. Six Sigma is a methodology focused very specifically on process improvement, reducing errors and variations. So it fits really well within a broader QMS to drive quality.
What about keeping track of the big picture, the strategic goals?
That's where something like a balanced scorecard can be really useful. It helps monitor performance across different areas, not just finance, but customers, internal processes, learning, and growth. It links daily work back to the strategic quality aims.
And checking that things are actually working as planned. Internal checks.
Absolutely vital. Regular internal audits. These are systematic checks to see if processes are being followed, if you're compliant, if outcomes are what they should be. They're crucial for finding areas that need fixing.
The sources also mentioned dashboards. Not car dashboards, I assume.
Light chuckle? No, not quite. Performance dashboards. They give you a real-time, often visual look at key quality indicators, so you can see trends, spot issues quickly, and make adjustments faster.
And for tackling problems before they happen. Being proactive.
Exactly. Risk management tools are key there. Things like FMEA failure modes and effects analysis, or just keeping detailed risk registers. They help you systematically identify, assess, and plan for potential risks to quality.
Got it. Now, something called the Quality Management Review, QMR, was highlighted specifically. Sounds important.
It's incredibly important. The QMR and guidance like ICH Q10 really emphasizes this, is where leadership actively demonstrates its commitment. It's a formal, regular review.
A meeting.
Essentially, yes. A high-level forum to look at the overall health of the QMS. You review metrics, discuss trends, drive improvements, check if resources are adequate, share best practices.
So like a regular checkup for the entire quality system.
That's a perfect way to put it. And ideally, it's not just one big meeting, it should cascade.
Cascade?
Yeah, reviews happening at different management levels, executive department, team level. This ensures information flows up and down and issues get escalated and dealt with quickly.
That makes sense. Connects the top floor to the shop floor, so to speak?
It does. And based on this, organizations develop quality plans at these different levels. Strategic plans at the top, setting overall goals and metrics. Then more tactical plans lower down, tailored to specific departments or functions.
Because R&D has different quality priorities than manufacturing, for example.
Exactly. The plans need to be relevant to the specific work being done. And underpinning all this are standardized quality metrics. Key quality indicators, KQIs.
For measuring success.
Measuring success, yes, but also flagging potential problems using something called quality tolerance limits, or QTLs. If a metric drifts outside its tolerance limit, it triggers an investigation. It's a proactive warning system.
Okay, that's a really practical set of tools. Now let's briefly talk about Supremedic Consultancy. How do they fit into this picture?
Supremedic positions itself as a partner specifically for hospital owners and healthcare organizations. They offer support right from the planning stage through to getting accredited.
So they help hospitals navigate all this complexity we've been talking about.
Pretty much. Their services cover things like implementing NABH standards and helping with accreditation, setting up standard operating procedures or SOPs for hospital operations, even helping with the initial design and planning of a hospital to build quality in from the start.
Hands-on support.
Yeah, helping set up infrastructure, manage daily operations using best practices. Their goal seems to be helping clients hit their quality and operational targets. They also seem to work in healthcare investments, helping with strategy and execution, often including NABH support there too.
Got it. And finally, iSquad, the International Society for Quality in Healthcare, another key player.
Definitely. iSquad is a global member-based nonprofit. They've been working for over 30 years to promote quality improvement in healthcare worldwide.
What kind of things do they do?
A whole range. Education, sharing knowledge, external evaluation services, helping health systems develop, and connecting professionals across the globe. They have a huge network.
Across many countries, I imagine.
Over 70 countries, yeah. And they're known for their big international conferences, like the upcoming ones in São Paulo in 2025 and Dublin in 2026. These are major events for advancing quality and safety knowledge.
Okay, so as we start to pull this all together, what are the main takeaways for our listeners about governance and quality systems?
I think the absolute core message is that good governance is the foundation. It's the bedrock for any successful quality system.
The starting point.
Yes, it's what ensures accountability, transparency, compliance, importantly, drives that continuous cycle of improvement.
And the key ingredients.
Strong leadership from the top, really clear roles so everyone knows their part, and using data, solid data, to make decisions. Those are non-negotiable.
And the tools we discussed, QMS, audits, dashboards, they help make it happen day to day.
Exactly. Those tools provide the practical means to maintain control, track progress, and actually achieve the quality goals you set out.
And it's really about two big benefits working together, isn't it? Staying compliant.
Right. Meeting the regulations, but also effectively managing risk. Good governance does both. It helps you anticipate and deal with potential problems proactively.
And ultimately, it sounds like quality isn't just one department's job.
Not at all. It has to be everyone's responsibility. A strong governance framework helps build and sustain that kind of proactive quality culture throughout the entire organization.
Well, thank you. That was a really thorough exploration of governance and quality systems. For everyone listening, if you want to dive deeper, definitely check out the specifics from JCI and NABH and the resources iSquad offers.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Considering how complex healthcare keeps getting and how fast things change, how can each person, no matter their role, help strengthen quality governance in their own workplace? Because ultimately, that's what benefits the patients we all serve.